What's up, everyone out there? Welcome back to the Phantoms Fanatic YouTube channel. I am here joined by
Warhawk Person, or
and
famously known on Twitch as Warhawk Person YT.
I fucking hate you sometimes. Anyways, we just got back from seeing Scream 5, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Scream, the
requel. Obviously, this is let's say our opinions on the franchise in total. Obviously, I think the first one is the best. I actually think it's one of the best horror movies. The fact that Wes Craven, with his writer Kevin Williamson, was able to make this, horror movie changing thing, like the fact that there are characters in the movie that are smart and know the rules to a horror movie. I think it's funny. I think that it's genuinely scary in some moments. The opening scene is one thing. The rest of the movies I see as just okay. I don't really think anything amazing with them, but I don't think that they're bad. There's good and bad things in all of them. Would you like to explain your opinions on the movie?
My opinions on this one? Or
no, the franchise in a total. Because you gotta announce this shit, because I didn't make a review of the other ones yet.
I view Scream 1 as the best, definitely. Scream 2, actually, I think Scream 2 is one of the worst. I prefer Scream 3. Scream 4, above that. And Scream 5 is a mystery. I'm not putting that anywhere yet.
So, this movie, released this year in 2022, not 21, because I gotta remember, it's a different fucking year now.
First review of the new year, I think.
No, The Matrix was.
Was that made last year and just uploaded this year?
No, I've made No Way Home.
That was made last year.
Okay.
First 2022 movie made this year in a review.
Whatever. Okay, so this movie released this year, directed by Radio Silence, the film collective behind Ready or Not, which I've reviewed, and I really enjoyed that film. And it stars, the three original main cast of characters. I recognized a lot of the new people, I just don't know what the actors' names are, so it's hard for me to pin the I know that one blonde-haired guy was in Goosebumps. The Jack Black movie, the Jack Black.
Don't give me flashbacks.
And also there was an actress from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I recognized her, but anyways, this film obviously takes the meta commentary on, bringing it back to the original, the requel, the time bringing back legacy characters and having them interact with new characters to keep the story going and stuff like that. And the fact that you start from, it's like a sequel mainly to only the original, not really the other ones, even though this one is a sequel to the other ones, even though they mainly mentioned stuff in the first one. And I think you get a very smart movie that may not have the best of scares, but I still think there are some good ones in here. And I think you get some good character moments, especially not even just from the old characters, not from the old characters from the Scream films past. I think that the new ones, even though like the main group of teens kind of sucks, but I feel like that's kind of on purpose because it's trying to match up with Scream itself, where the main group of teens kind of weren't the most interesting of characters to watch. But like the main character and her relationship with her sister, I think is very well done. And obviously the killings start in Woodsboro again, which I think is all a part of the joke. You could just call this, repeating the same type of plot structures from that, but I feel like this film is smart enough to know that it's doing it on purpose, to where they reference so many things from the first movie in like a meta commentary type of way that I think it actually works very well in what it's trying to do. And the comedy, I think that most of the comedy sometimes lands. There is one joke in this that made me fucking laugh hysterically, and I'm not gonna say it because I don't want to spoil it, but a character is watching a review of the Stab movies and an internet person shows up.
Breathe through your mouth, out through your nose. I said that at that moment. You needed to calm down.
I know, but it was so fucking...
It's like that Office meme. Calm down, everybody, calm the fuck down.
Yes, but no, I think that this movie was very well done, handled by Radio Silence. It's gory as shit, and I really did enjoy that. And these characters are not the most likable, but I feel like that's kind of on purposely done. But the characters who are supposed to be likable are. You may speak now.
I am exactly opposite. This movie, it starts out strong, like they always do. Someone dies, but really in this, nothing happens.
What do you mean?
Can't say what I mean, because then it's spoilers, so just say...
They subvert the trope of the opening of a Scream movie, I will say.
They subverted my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
From thinking this would be a good movie.
Oh my god, you... Explain why you don't think it's a good movie. You gotta explain this shit, man.
First, it overuses jump scares.
I feel like that's on purpose, though. It's trying...
But,
okay.
It may be part of the comedy. But you can't brand yourself a horror movie and a comedy at the same time. And then, you can't make anything new if you pissed off the audience with hearing a fucking jump scare sound effect 35 fucking times in a minute.
So here's what I have to say to this. So what I get what you're saying with the jump scares, and I kind of see that as a commentary itself, but there are still very well done directed scenes of horror. I know what scene you're talking about when the character, like, there's a bunch of fake outs with him. I think that was done for, like, comedic reasons.
No,
not
I think
to scare...
it was to make you suspect him.
No, I think it was done for comedic reasons because you're just seeing him do mundane tasks. In horror movies, usually when mundane tasks happens, they get killed. Or you're expecting him to discover a body or something like that. But what I like what they do with this is that they kind of play it up for comedy and is like, they're making fun of the fact that this character that films this way usually would just do a cheap scare like that. And yet it ends, I don't think it ends with that cheap of a scare. It's a jump scare, but I feel like that's done on purpose because there being a meta commentary over it. And what I like about this film is that they're talking about the stuff in the films, like the tropes, and the tropes match up. The killers are very obvious in this, but what I like about that is they don't try to subvert your expectations. They just make everybody else suspicious, but that has happened in the past horror movies. You know, everybody's a suspect and stuff like that.
Point number 2. The killers were fucking obvious. Too painful. I knew the second I saw them.
I feel like that's on purpose, though, because in the first movie, the killers are very obvious. I think that that's on purpose. In all the Scream movies, the killers are super fucking obvious. Or they come out of nowhere because a fucking rewrite happened and Timothy Olyphant is all of a sudden a fucking ghost face for no fucking reason.
When did that happen?
Scream 2. So
I haven't seen any of the sequels other than the kill counts.
Oh my fucking god. Okay, so in Scream 2, Billy Loomis's mom comes back to kill Sydney, but the other killer was supposed to be Sydney's roommate, but because the script was leaked, they changed it to the other character who it turns out to be, and it just doesn't gel well. What I think they do in this is, I think they know that. They are trying to just make, like, a knockoff, like, a Scream movie that follows the beats of a Scream movie, but I feel like that is on purpose because it is so meta and with its commentary on the genre itself, I feel like it is trying to be super meta. And I know these directors and these writers have done good things. Ready or Not, I fucking love that movie. But I think it's done on purpose because of how these Scream movies end up. you could say that it's doing the same thing over and over again, but because you have so many repeating points from the first movie, and the fact that they're commentating on requels, how they don't do it right, that you need to bring it back to the original, and the monologue by the Ghostface killer in this mentions all of that. And I personally think that it's all done on purpose. And I feel like some of the scare scenes genuinely do work. And this movie does take risks, like in the monologue they mentioned. I like that they did that. They just didn't play it safe, which I enjoyed. And
My reason 3, but I don't know, because I haven't been for any of your Marvel reviews, but the third act I feel like killed it, because it's basically... Well, it's because a certain character goes, and then it's just boring without it, because the comedy sucks without him.
I don't think it does.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say which character bites the bucket, but...
But I feel like the way that the original characters finish out their arcs and how they are handled in the film, I feel like are done very well. And the fact that it goes back to the original in so many aspects, I feel like it's so purposely done. I don't feel like it's trying to be lazy. I feel like it's genuinely trying to be smart about this.
Too vanilla for my taste.
And if I would have to mention problems, yes, there was, I think, a bit too many jump scares, and not all of the scares landed. And I don't think
I'll give it this.
I don't
the
think
hospital scene. That's it.
And I like how gory it has been, because, you know, the Scream movies haven't been the goriest things ever, except Scream 4. But I do like that they genuinely try to do something interesting with this one, and still have the ability to close out the arcs by commentating on the movie itself through its plot. And, like, the main character, and with what she turns out to be, I wasn't most interested with it. I didn't mind it, but I feel like that's yet again just trying to be a commentary on itself about the whole situation.
I will say, that whole thing, it kind of reminded me of Dream Child at the end. Unleash your dream power!
But I didn't think it was bad because of that, because I think that it genuinely adapted what has happened. Now, as I said, the scares, I don't feel like all of them land, and all of them don't work the best. But I still think that the movie is still enjoyable and funny, and it's a Scream movie, so it's obviously going to be all meta commentary. And I think that the way that they do it in this film, especially with the direction and all of that, and bringing back the past characters, they really handled these characters well for Wes Craven, because obviously he passed away. Yes, and I feel like it is handled well.
Okay. Next point. The body count is too low. I think there was less bodies that were actually killed than the first one.
I don't care if the body count has to be high, man.
It has to be high because it makes the killer feel like a dumbass, because they just feel like a dumbass. They really suck at their job. They only did one successful kill that was actually off guard, which wasn't really off guard because...
But I feel like the characters aren't stupid in this, but I feel like they're stupid because it's a part of the joke in some moments. And they
when legacy characters aren't.
They're not. Which leg?
Do you want me to say after the recording or during?
Let's just finish this up. So I definitely think that you guys should check this out. I personally think that it's the best Scream sequel we have gotten so far. And I think that the way that it does its meta commentary on the requels by kind of copying the first film's plot, but in an interesting way, and commentating on all of this, and the way that it closes out everybody's arc, the legacy characters, and even the new characters who I still was interested in, even though it wasn't the most riveting thing, I feel like it is very well handled. And the jokes, I think, still land. And even though the scares and some of the character moments I don't enjoy a lot, I feel like the main parts of the movie still hold up for me to still recommend that you go see this.
Overall, I rate this movie
I'm not giving it ratings. I don't.
4 out of 10.
And that's your opinion. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe down below. Please comment who you agree with or what your opinion is on the film. You don't have to agree with us, and that's completely fine. Everybody has your own opinions. And I'm sorry.
Subscribe or we're doing a 24-hour challenge at Chuck E. Cheese.